It is Monday, and in this week's episode we got a lot of new projects happening. So buckle up to see what 1 week in the yard looks like building our aluminum catamaran.
The name in the game this week, a bit of organized chaos. We just wrapped up a massive milestone, insulating the hull. And with this huge piece of the build locked in, it feels like the whole boat is finally coming together. And now we can actually start installing all the good stuff and diving into a ton of super exciting projects. Well, maybe one too many, if we're being absolutely honest.
There's a lot going on today. The installation happened last week, and that's actually created a whole bunch more work for us because now we can start putting stuff in. I do have one regret though. I wish that we had done the masking for the installation ourselves. They did an okay job, but look at stuff like this. They didn't really mask any of this stuff, so we got overspray on like our foam and all of the insulated hoses. We're trying to clean that up, vacuum that up. If you look back here, they actually insulated this bulkhead, but then they went very low, and so now we can't get the floors back out because it was all the way down. So now Bill has to go through with the multi-tool and trim along all the edges on all the bulkheads. Like also these things, like these are the mounts for the air conditioner, and they didn't mask that at all, so it just got completely sprayed over. So we literally had to go through with the screwdriver and like bing, 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 and then until we found this. And then Bill cut this out, we insulated behind it. Now we can mount the control box for the air conditioner there. Okay. Things like that we're working through. And I'm continuing to run the hose. So this is the heating and cooling hose that'll pipe either hot or cold water around the boat, depending on if we're a hot or a cold climate. That's been all run in. I'm real happy with how this stuff turned out, except for the overspray. It is what it is. It's not gonna hurt anything, just doesn't look as neat and tidy as we'd like it. Yeah. And then what else is going on? So Bill's working on that stuff. I'm finishing up, tidying up some of the conduits and the hoses. Because the insulation is done on the salon floor, now the permanent floor can go in. So Dana's up here with the same issue. If the bottom would have been masked properly, the floor would have just slid right in, but it'll be really nice to have the permanent floor in, then we can walk. Dan's out here welding. So we've got some welding in the engine room that needs to be finished. And in fact, I've got a whole list.
What happened to your list?
I pulled it out of my pocket and it ripped in half. So I've got Dane to do and Brian Bill to do. We're working in teams. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff to do, but it's all happening.
It's so loud today.
It's so loud today. The guys next door are jackhammering, Dan's welding, Bill's multi-tooling. Back to work. I got this Patreon question this morning that I thought was pretty interesting, so I'd like to go ahead and read it for you. I've sort of paraphrased it to protect his identity, but here goes. It says, "Hey Brian, not sure if you're aware, but with the impending social media ban for under 16s in my country, we're gonna need to digitally ID ourselves before we can view anything on YouTube, otherwise I'm afraid I'll be blocked. I won't be complying with the ID requirement for privacy reasons. Do you have someplace else I can watch your videos other than YouTube and privacy? You guys might be affected, so please let me know." These days, more and more online platforms are choosing to verify your ID based on your location, which is yet another reason why it's a good idea to use a VPN. So we've actually used NordVPN for almost 5 years now. I personally use it to access my old school 401k plan from my old software job that for some reason wants me to be in the US to even view my statements. And Kaza uses it so that Sierra can watch her shows in Swedish that she otherwise couldn't access without a Swedish IP address, which makes no sense at all, but that's the way it is. NordVPN is super fast, easy to use, supports multiple devices, and works in hundreds of countries all around the world while encrypting your traffic for extreme privacy. It is really easy to get started. All you have to do is visit our link. It is nordvpn.com/svdelos. I will pop it below and also in the description. If you use that link, it's gonna help out our channel, which we really appreciate, and you're also gonna get a great deal. Right now, you can get 4 free months off on a 2-year plan. There is also a 30-day money-back risk-free guarantee, so it's really hard to go wrong. And it's awesome. We use it all the time. Once again, that link is nordvpn.com/svdelos. Check it out. All right, now let's get back to the build.
As I mentioned before, things are a bit hectic right now. We've got tools everywhere, cameras rolling, and a never-ending list of jobs that somehow keeps getting longer and longer. And honestly, that makes the whole working while filming thing even trickier than it already is. But here's the cool part. There's no going back now. We're already in the future. This is it. The moment where everything starts coming together. 1 week left, a ton to do, but we're fired up, we're pushing through, and it actually feels pretty damn good.
So Dane just finished cutting the speaker holes, and I think they look really great. These are the speakers from Kicker that we've chosen. So we have them here, which has been super, super helpful to kind of get the right measurements and all that kind of stuff. So, and then we're gonna have the little tweeters, whatever you call it. So these are the ones. Super excited for a good stereo system. That's done. And we've decided where they're gonna go so we can run all the cables and all of that. So, yeah.
Well, start to think about pulling some wire through all these nifty conduits we have now, which means we need to figure out how much wire we need to order. So, I'd start kind of like figuring out the length of the runs for the lights. So for example, we're in this cabin right here, and our lighting control box is going to be under the stairs. So if I need to power that spotlight and I need to run it there, how much wire do I need? And so it's a little hard to do it from the drawing because you kind of have to account for going down through the conduits up and then the turns. So my lighting control box is going to be over here. That's going to be 1.5 meters right there. So 1.5 plus another meter to get us up here. That's 2.5. And then we've got another 1.5. So that's 4 right there. And then if we go from that box up to here, that's 4 plus another 2, so that's 6 meters. So what I'll probably do is just go to each one of these, I'll write down the length, I'll add them all up, and then I'll probably multiply by I usually multiply by 25 or 30% extra. So 6 meters would be, what's times another 8 meters or something. Yeah. It's always better to have more than not enough, right? Then, hey, Bill?
Yeah.
Could you hold off on the multi-tool for a sec?
Yeah.
Sorry, every time I try to say somebody's doing some work around here. So basically, let's say that we want this light to be dimmable.
Yeah.
Even if there's one light here, or if there's 4 lights here, as long as they all turn on or off or dim together, I can run it off of one channel off the controller. But for example, if we wanted the lights to operate independently, then I would need to run 2 wires to the controller. So, this light is fine, that's 1 wire, but then over here we have a reading lamp, right? Mm-hmm. And so we don't want the reading lamp to turn on and off here. We probably want the reading lamp to be on and then it's got its own switch on it, right? Mm-hmm. So that one's gonna require an individual wire all the way to here. But we also have another reading lamp over there.
Yeah.
And we have
another reading lamp up there.
Another reading lamp up there. So if all of those are going to be controlled with their own individual switches, then I can run 1 wire over and then I can branch out for three wires from the main connection box.
Okay.
So I'll try and avoid pulling an individual wire for everything, right?
That would be crazy.
That would be a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's get to work.
Okay.
Tallying stuff up. Okay, Bill, get back to work.
Okay.
Go film him over there, see what he's doing.
insulating pool over here. Almost done. It's the last panel that's in this hall.
Really?
Yeah, everything else will be
Wow.
done.
How's it going?
It's going.
Yeah.
Mine is so much cleaner than this.
I know.
What did they do? It was so clean when we left it.
My neat
My
work.
OCD is kicking in. I don't even have OCD.
It's pretty tight, huh?
That's what she said.
Behind you.
Yeah, these are especially behind all the fuel lines and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
so I'm making a lot of little cuts to get all these in. This is taking me almost half a day to get this last row done.
Wow.
But these take like a couple hours because these are all the same size and easy. So it really depends on the area.
Yeah.
But yeah, this hall's almost done.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So much
Yeah.
quieter in here now too. Have you noticed that?
I know.
Less echoes.
Yeah. Different feeling.
Yeah, it's like
We ended up spending hours just measuring cable runs for all the lights and all the different cabins of the boat. And of course, it took way longer than we thought it would. Every time we traced a line, we had to double check whether a single cable would do the job. Or maybe we needed to run 2 or 3 for different lights in different areas that we didn't want to turn on at the same time. It's one of those jobs that seems simple until you actually start doing it. But hey, that's boat life, one step at a time. And every little detail gets us closer to flipping the switch and lighting this baby up.
Oh my God, Kaz, you should have written notes. Look at this.
I know.
I'm just not a good writer anymore. I should have done a spreadsheet on my phone is what I should have done. I'm gonna have to put this into a spreadsheet because it spans
If you did a spreadsheet on your phone too, you could just have asked ChatGPT and like.
Takes up 4 pages of scribbles.
How much wider do you think it's gonna be?
Hundreds of meters?
Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
I haven't skimmed on the lights though. Like it's gonna be pretty epic.
It's gonna be pretty epic. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. It's a lot.
Do I look a little confused? Yeah, I guess I do. We ended up needing way more cable than I ever expected, like not even close to what I expected. In the end, it worked out that we need at least 300 meters, that's about 1,000 feet, just for the lights themselves. If you add in the power outlets, pumps, and all the other bits that need power run to them, we're already comfortably sitting at 750 meters, about 2,500 feet of wire to pull. It's crazy. And at this rate, by the time we're done, I bet you we'll be flirting with about a full kilometer of wiring. That's 3,300 feet of wire, all said and done.
So even more of the flooring has started to go in, which is really cool. It will be so nice to have the floor down so we can kind of, yeah, you know, just starting to get things a little bit easier to walk around, and yeah, it's great.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kazatron. Happy birthday to you. Hooray!
Hey! Thank you guys.
Can't really blow them out.
I know, I'm like
Just gonna let that wind down.
37.
How old are you?
38. 37, I don't know.
Young could die over 21.
Yay! How's this go with your special diet, Dan? I got these for you.
Super hot.
Apple cream filled.
Oh, I don't think that's any better.
It works pretty good with the bread knife.
Yeah. Don't want to cut too much, huh?
No, I'll measure it. But look at this. So yeah, Dan got the floors in, finished that up this morning. I finished this up down here. Pretty much all the conduits and the heating and cooling lines are in. And then we've got my electrical conduits are coming together right here. So we've got 2 of them coming from the electrical compartment up here. We've got these feeds for the DC stuff and the AC stuff, for both forward and aft. They kind of go into the head and then they branch like that. This is for the galley. Water heater, we've got the induction stove, we've got the oven, and the outlets, so all that is dedicated for that. And then I'm gonna put a piece of HDPE, like the high density polyethylene plastic here. And then that'll be mounting for the lighting controllers and all the power distribution stuff for this hull, and we'll have a mirror on the other side as well. And then
Waving that knife.
Can I play a knife with that? I'm just gonna
hold on, I'm gonna grab this one. The filming. Watch. The filming.
Is that what he's like?
Like butter.
Like butter. The old IKEA knife. What if I do it at a slight angle, if it'll make trimming this a little bit easier later?
I mean, this is at a slight angle. It goes like that, right?
Yeah,
it is quite a
Well, we want to eventually have a 6 mil gap here, sort of like that.
Oh.
Well, it's definitely 6 mil between that and that, I think.
Yeah, so if I do it at an angle, then we can come in with the multi-tool and just go nyah and level it out, right?
Or you just push it.
Or just measure off and cut 6 down.
I'm just gonna keep it level for now.
Yeah, I think so.
It's kind of satisfying.
It is. This looks good. It's good for OCD.
I'll save some for you, Bill, don't worry.
How's the glue job, Brian? Is it good? Are you proud of me for gluing it in so well?
Yeah.
You did a really good job.
I can glue like no other. I'm a good gluer, apparently.
Really good at gluing. Just put that on your
Put that on my
CV.
resume.
Ready?
Oh, the end. Here we go. I have a
Chief
money
gluer.
shot. Oh, and he almost got his finger.
Oh, right at the end.
He got too excited.
Dang it.
Oh, dang.
You're probably wondering what the heck we were doing, cutting away with a knife like that. Honestly, who knows? Maybe it was our inner child coming out, or maybe we actually thought we were making Dane's job easier. It's hard to say. But what we do know is Dane came back, busted out his router, and gave that a shot. Yeah, it worked okay, but not quite as cool as my bread knife trick. In the last episodes, we walked you through installing all the sailing hardware, the jib, main sheet tracks, winches, and a few of the blocks. But there was still a pretty important piece missing. So while Dan fired up the welder and started attaching these absolutely massive cleats, seriously, aren't they cool? Bigger is better when it comes to cleats. I got to work on the track for the self-tacking jib with Bill.
Hello. Next project, we're gonna start installing the track and the car for the self-tacker on the foredeck. So this is the 42 mil track, and I'm just gonna cut it to length, and then me and Bill are gonna drill holes, bend it as we go, and then mount it. 49. All right, Bill, go ahead, I'll film.
Okay, here we go. Start drilling holes in your boat, bro. What do you think? Start with one hole and then kind of get the bend like halfway through or something?
We'll start on the outside and we'll just work our way in and we'll tweak it as we go.
It's quite a lot of bend on it though. You can see it in short distance.
So that is the straight line. That's got to end up like that, which will be fun.
I think it's going to be the hardest one because the other ones had longer, more bend.
Yeah.
These are short pieces.
Show me what you got, Bill.
Proceed.
Oh, no, you didn't.
What's the chuck on this drill?
It's not the best chuck, is it?
No, it's been slipping a lot on me lately. I don't know why.
Use chuck.
There you go.
It always feels good to giggle and mess around a bit while we work. Honestly, it's probably been our coping mechanism for all the little crazy jobs waiting for us. But that's the magic of it, right? Somehow, a laugh, a joke, or even a goofy moment turns the chaos into something a little bit more enjoyable.
Hi, Nugs.
Hi, Daddy.
Did you have a good day today?
Yes.
What did you do?
Did co-work.
You did schoolwork? Can you please help me build our catamaran? Okay. Your important job is to do Nugget cam.
And I can see the camera almost dead.
It's almost dead. Okay, so what, do you want to interview us?
Yes.
Say, how did you build this catamaran so fast?
How did you build this catamaran so fast?
I don't know that it's been fast, but you know, every day that you're in homeschool, we're here work all day long. From when the sun comes up to when the sun goes down. All day long, we just work on this thing. Crazy, right? Do you want to go film Mommy and Dane what they're doing?
I really also want to see my bedroom also.
Oh, okay. Well, you can go around the corner, but there's no stairs yet. Yeah, careful, Sierra.
Here, Daddy.
Okay. Bye, Sierra. Thank you for coming by. Be careful, okay?
Come down.
I don't need help.
Okay. You're a big girl, huh? Sierra, can you please go film Mommy for me? See what she's doing? And then turn it on. There you go, Sierra.
So while Mommy was off talking about the helm station, super important stuff obviously, we were over here desperately needing her help for the next big project.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna learn how to drive this thing.
Why?
Well, I figured it'd be good to add, so we gotta weld the dinghy mounts on.
Ah,
So, and it's quite high, so instead of setting up a ladder, we might as well use the new toy. Can you undo the chain for us, guys?
yes.
Yeah, here we go.
After we finally got the fun out of our system, Dan dove straight into the job. While Dan was enjoying some fresh air for a change, inside there was zero chance for a break. Luckily, we called in some backup, the Steves. Carpentry like this is way above our pay grade, so having these two around made all the difference. This time, they're templating all the cabinets we'll have throughout the boat, measuring, sketching out ideas, and figuring out how to make things fit in those weird, tricky little spots that are pretty much the definition of a boat.
Another thing that is happening is that we're starting to figure out what kind of finish we want on like the hulls, and it's not so much like we can wait for the actual hull, kind of like the major hull, so to speak. But to be able to like put the windows in and stuff like that, we need to sand there first, because if you imagine if you put a window in and then you have that like edge that you need to be careful of when you're sanding and stuff, and then we just go from there. So we're doing that as well today. What else is going on here?
We're doing some experiments. We have a VIP visitor at the house today.
Oh, hello.
This is Scott, all the way from New Zealand,
Nice.
and experimenting with some finishes today, trying to get an idea of how we'd like to finish the hull. And so this is a piece of 5083 plate. It's basically the same stuff that the boat is made out of. And what we've done is we've done like a 120 grit sand on this side, and this side was the 80 grit, so you can kind of see the difference.
Oh, it's a lot different.
It's a lot different. And then
Whoa.
we've also washed it with the Alley Bright stuff, which is like a etching solution.
Okay.
And you can see how it kind of like, it gets in all the pores, and then it makes the color very, very consistent. And so what we're trying to do is figure out how shiny do we want it, because the shinier it is, the more it's going to show tool marks and imperfections or like any divots in the hull, and we don't want to like fair and paint anything, right? So I don't know if we can go this shiny, if it might show up too many things, or if we need to go like maybe somewhere between here and there.
I mean, it's quite a big difference between the two, right? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like this is maybe.
Well, also I haven't done the alley bright on this.
okay.
I did it just up in this corner. I don't know if you can see the slight color change between here and there. I really can't see.
Maybe
that much.
this is so much shit over here. So
Yeah, I really didn't clean this side. Sorry. And now what I'm going to do is we're just going to put a little bit of Nugget on this to see what it does to that finish.
Yeah. Maybe somewhere in the middle. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking 80 grit, somewhere in the middle,
Yeah.
because it will show everything up. And the
Yeah,
last thing you want is small imperfections being seen like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like looking at your face too
Yeah,
close to
so-
the mirror, right?
Ah, too bright.
I need more dim lights.
It's an aluminium boat, you're never
Yeah.
going to get it perfect.
Yeah, and I think like this almost feels a little bit too. Yeah,
Well, if we think that's too shiny,
too shiny.
then maybe we ought to, before I do the Nugget, maybe we ought to hit this side with like an 80, and then that way we can see the difference between the two. Does that sound like a plan?
Sound like a plan.
We know what that looks like. Okay, let me go get some 80 grit sandpaper.
Okay.
We'll go from there. Okay.
So to add to this topic, there is a lot of different ways you can finish an aluminum hull or the look of an aluminum hull. So you can paint it, you can leave it raw, or you can wrap it. And then within that, there is a lot of different versions. So for example, a pattern, some like streaks, some people do circles. We've actually looked a lot into this, or I have looked at a lot of different examples of boats and different ways of doing it. I think we have landed on keeping the raw hulls and no painting. We've heard quite a few horror stories about painting, and from my understanding, the problem also is that if you get chips in the paint, then that's where corrosion comes in, and then it starts like bulging out. We actually really like the aluminum like raw look. We're gonna start working on trying to find like a happy medium, so to speak, where it's not like these big blotches of different colors and streaks and stuff, but at the same time it is gonna have some variance in it. You can probably spend thousands of dollars trying to get it completely smooth. We're not really after that. This is kind of an experiment, so we don't really know, but I think we'll figure it out eventually. And then when we figured it out in one area, we can just kind of replicate that across the boat. Yeah, I just saw the side steps I haven't seen yet.
Oh yeah, they look great.
Look at these things. I haven't seen these yet. Dan just welded. I can step on these, right?
Yeah. Well, I hope so. So where would you naturally grab? Pull yourself up.
The side there on the.
Like right here, right?
I just grab here.
Yeah, I want one of these.
Really?
Thinking something like that right here.
Why?
Because climb down. Don't you think it'd be nice to have a little handhold right here?
I don't know.
That was the thought.
Because I kind of like I hold here. Step up there. I want to see you step up there.
Yeah, you can just grab like that, yes. Then coming down, it's just if you're going crazy, maybe it's good enough.
Wow, that looks awesome. That's really exciting. So we did the 60 grit 2 times, and then alley bright, and then we have not done the Nugget yet, but after drying, I still feel like there's a little bit, we still need to mess around with it a little bit.
Yeah, I think I might go over it one more time.
Yeah.
There's some marks I'd like to try and get out. They might be sort of hard to see You can barely see them now that it's dried, but like see this right here? If you can see that, something like that.
Yeah, you can't really, yeah, you see it kind of here. It's like
Yeah.
small streaks and then it's like,
You can really, you can see it.
I'm not so concerned about those. I'm more concerned about these here,
Yeah.
like the run marks.
What's going on there?
It's
So
more
you can,
like,
if you put your hand over it, you can feel a slight high spot there. So I have a feeling that when you sand it, that part is getting sanded more than the other. But this, why does it go like that? And then that looks like a streak of something.
yeah.
It might be, we might have gotten like some oxidation on here, and then the alley bright hit more there or something. I don't know. I'm gonna go over it one more time with the 60 on these spots, and then I'm gonna put the alley bright on in a smaller area,
Yeah, maybe just this area here and more just like,
and then let it sit for a little bit longer.
make sure no runs, like that is like even kind of thing.
Yeah, and then see if I can get it to even out. And then once I get it figured out, then we can.
Duplicate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Well, word of caution: if you stop by to say hello, you're gonna get put to work. I love it.
Like a bit out, my friends.
We love patron labor.
Yeah, there was some technical difficulties. The GoPro turned off at 20% battery. I don't know why. Right when Brian was talking about the differences in the sand. So basically here we've done 60, 80 and 120. We felt like the 120 was too shiny. And to be honest, I don't see a lot of difference between the 60 and the 80. It's like maybe when you do it in certain lighting, kind of holding it up. So up there, Scott has done the 60 grit because we felt like almost like if you sand it too much also, if there is any kind of like, I mean the aluminum like it changes, and depending on what's behind it and how it's welded, it has little like, yeah, just color changes. So we felt like with 120, they like come out way more. You see it way more than with the 60. So I think the 60 will be completely fine. And now you're just testing up there kind of how we're gonna do it. And yeah, that's kind of what we're up to. The boys have also put down, because we have 2 drains in the cockpit up there. And if the water, when we clean it with water, when it comes out, we don't want it to go anywhere.
Well, we've got some streaks. See this?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's, I'm not sure what that is, honestly. It's also some sort of a tool mark there. Probably somebody went a little crazy with the Orby.
Oh, the one down the bottom.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, there's that one there, and there's one right down the bottom.
And if we want to go after stuff like that, Kaz, it's going to take a long time.
I know!
Well, that's just one of those things you've got to make call, isn't it? What are you happy with?
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to put up with?
There might be, like, we might not do that on the inside of the hull, but on this bulkhead we might, right?
Yeah, and to me, I've got the visual, you know, here and here.
Yeah.
That's where it's going to get seen. You're going to have rubber up to here, so you've only got a
Yeah,
thin
it's just
strip
that
anyway.
strip in the middle anyway, you're right. Yeah.
But then, you know,
That one's
this
right in the middle.
Like this, it's actually quite buckled through here.
Yeah.
You run your hand on it, but it's aluminium, it's welding, it's
Well,
nice.
that's what it's going to be like unless we ferret.
Yep. Which is what Rehab had done to her, and it looks bloody horrible.
Brian, it looks great.
What do you think, Kaz?
I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, so basically,
Like, what did you do to end up this way?
okay,
It looks
so
a lot
what we
nicer.
did is we did a sand with a 60 grit. We did all the way testing from 60 grit up to 120. We felt the 120 was too shiny.
Yeah.
So we ended up with the 60, and then I washed it real good with the Simple Green Extreme, the stuff for aluminum. And then I went over that. Then it was very clean, but there was still some slight differences in the color from the oxidation. So then I went over it with Alibrite, so it's like an acid.
Like
And so-
again?
like 3 or 4 times, because
Oh, wow.
because you can see, like, look where I dropped some on the floor. That's what it does to the aluminum. And so, you know, that doesn't matter because we're going to be covering the floor with something, but I didn't want it to be too white on the hull. And so I did it like, put it on, let it sit like 3-4 minutes, sprayed it off. And I ended up doing that about 3 or 4 times until I got it just a consistent color. And then I dried it, sprayed it with water, dried it, and then just rolled on the nyalic with a real fine foam roller.
Okay.
And I taped around the windows because you can kind of feel there's 2 coats of nyalic on there. It's a very thin coating. See right that?
Oh
right there
yeah,
with
it's
your
like
finger?
a little block going up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the color it should stay. And because we put the nyalic on there, it shouldn't oxidize under that. It's a polymer that kind of like coats the metal and protects it. So that's kind of what we're going to attempt to do on the rest of the boat.
So we basically have to just repeat whatever you did here.
Like
Everywhere.
times 1,000. And we didn't do it around the windows because the window frames, they come out like past this tape line. And so I wanted the glue for the windows to go directly to the alley. So
Okay.
and the windows actually come out quite wide. They're square. So, but we'll just do the glue inside. So that's the deal. I'm happy with it. You're happy. If you're happy with it, then I'm happy with it.
I think it looks way better.
Even Dan said.
Really?
Even Dan said it looked okay. And dang, if Dan says it looks okay, you must be doing
Then
something
it's
right.
pretty good.
Also,
Oh,
what was I gonna say?
you're gonna come here?
No, that's it. Also nothing.
Now, I hope you guys liked this week's episode and it was so much projects happening this week. But yeah, if you like to see more behind the scenes and like we answer everybody's questions, head on over to patreon.com/svdelos.
Major Q&A as well.
Yes. So there's been, that's okay.
Jumping the gun here.
No. It's a lot. Yeah, we post some more stuff on there and like live things and meetups and stuff. So if you guys like to check that out, do that. But now it's time to head home for the week.
That's it.
And see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Could you hold on for just a sec? Sorry, there's a lot going on today.
Why would we have a GoPro with us? Brian's like, we have to go say happy birthday, and he left. And then he came back for GoPro, and I was like, really, Brian? Does everything have to be filmed?
Yes.
Yeah, probably. Do you want to come?
Delos, suppose, because that trim's got to go over it.
Like 6 mil inside.
6 mil inside, yeah.
Okay.
Well done.
Sorry, every time I try to say like,
It's going.
yes. It says outdoor use only. But I figure we're in the shop, so it's alright. Plenty of welding going on around here.
Oh shit, I was gonna say something else.
Still recording.
Okay.
Oh shit, she's gonna say something else.
I forgot. Yes.
New patron meetup. Bring the sandpaper.
Bring your sander. Strip lights. That. What if we?
Stripper lights?
Yeah.
Woohoo!